my question to you is this: what do you believe in your heart of hearts really shows who is going to be the better jiu-jitsu practitioner? And is there a format that we can even do that with?
Well, first of all, the answer to that last question is everyone believes that their rule set is the right one. Right. So I believe that too. Right. My rule set, the one I like, is the best one. So everyone's got their own belief. I'm joking here. Like everyone believes that their rule set is the best one. This is an interesting question because it goes back to the documentary and the split between judo and jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu split off of judo for very similar reasons that we're watching now. We can't agree on the rules anymore. And once we stop agreeing on the rules, you have two different sports. But I think that, like in politics, this happens a lot in politics. So you have a problem here, and everyone's enraged with this problem. What is everyone's solution to the problem? Opposite end of the spectrum, right? Because you go, if I have a problem here, well, clearly this is bad, then the polar opposite of this is good, right? It's kind of like that. You flip it on its head completely. And I think submission only is a movement that was largely – mostly people are unhappy with IBJJF, and they wanted to create something like, let's make things different. Let's get rid of advantages. Let's make heel hooks legal. Let's make it no-gi. Let's do this and let's do that. Let's make it professional. A lot of the critique to IBJJF, a lot of it was valid. You got to keep that in mind. There is an argument there. They just swung the other way, and they, let's just be the opposite of IBJJF in any way, all the ways that we were critical of it. And what they did was they solved some problems, right? But they created all these other problems, So if I'm a coach, right, and I'm only going to train submission only, and my fighter is only going to do submission only, this is what we're going to train. We're going to train lots of footlocks. We're going to train guard recovery. And when someone passes, I'm going to do this and not move and never turtle up. There's a reason why you don't see guys turtling up in submission only, because it doesn't make sense, right? Strategically, it's a horrible idea. And then I'm going to butt scoot a lot. There's a lot of butt scooting. I'm not going to work on my wrestling because tactically, there's a lot of energy and risk that goes involved with the takedown. There's not a lot of reward because there are no points. So submission only, ironically, even though they were so submission-oriented, and in some ways they are more submission-oriented than IBJJF rules, they created a problem that no one could foresee. They became less martial art-oriented. And I never thought I'd say that, but IBJJF, for all its flaws, I have to take you down, control the takedown for 3 seconds, right? If I pass your guard, I have to be on top. There's establishing position. Now, these are real situations in a fight.
Advancing the hierarchy of your position and so on and so forth.
Take my word for it. Watch the UFC.
Right.
Like, position is important. I think the submission only, by swinging to the opposite extreme, they've created another problem. What they have done is they've created, let's ignore positions completely. And positions are important. Watch the UFC. My suspicion is that there are more TKOs on the ground than submissions on the ground. So what that suggests to me is that position on the ground is very important. And by eliminating all points, what they did was they say, fuck it, if someone passes my guard, I'm going to do this, which makes tactical sense.
Until you're getting punched in the face.
Dropping elbows on you and you'd be dead. That is not self-defense. Like what Henner fought at Alvon. Oh, this is self-defense jiu-jitsu. No, that is not self-defense jiu-jitsu. That is, I don't want to get tapped jiu-jitsu. And a draw is not a win. Just because you drew didn't mean you didn't lose. You still got your butt kicked. End of story.
Right.
It's not a debate. Okay. And this goes back to the split between judo and jiu-jitsu. Right. My fear, and I've said this to IBJJF more times than I can count, is that by limiting the rule set, you're going to create a void where other sports will be able to exist, much like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu inside of judo. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu exists inside a vacuum created by judo because judo limited groundwork. And when you do that, it doesn't mean people are going to stop practicing it. It means that vacuum could become a thing of itself. Case in point, BJJ. We would not exist had Kano had a better vision and understanding of grappling. Kano had a limited understanding of grappling, in my opinion, because the fight does not stop when you take someone down. You're ludicrous if you believe that you can knock someone out with a takedown every time. I think that was his argument, I'm going to knock you out with a takedown. I'm like, that's not a very good argument.
The basis of an ippon is a knockout because the entirety of the back hits the ground.
No, it's not a knockout. Even on concrete, it's not a knockout.
Right.
Sometimes it might be, but you can't count on it. So I think that he made a mistake and he allowed BJJ to exist.